I looked at my spiritual growth in particular, and the first few houses that I found myself in were too. It made God. He was too far away. He was too big. He was too untouchable. He was too cold. Yeah, he was too hard. And it was too liturgical. It was just not a good fit. And so I spent some of my teenage years looking for another fit. And I kind of thought I was looking God was something else, but it wasn't. And the church was actually way too rigid, and it was way too wrong and too hard, and I couldn't thrive there, and I couldn't flourish there, and I couldn't grow there, and anyway, so that's where I was when I found Believers Fellowship, knowing that the places I had tried and the brand of God that was being presented didn't fit for me. Didn't fit for what was my life and the calling on my life. And you've heard me say this before, but I believe God called me into ministry when it was either 7 or 8. This will sound really stupid, but the reason I know I was either 7 or 8 is because I was looking down at my shoes, walking into church one day, and they were my first pair of high heels. I was all big, I was all grown up, and I was walking into the church and thinking I was on my way to becoming a big person. Here I am. And the Spirit of God communicated to me. And what he said was, you are one who will always work in my church. And I didn't know what that meant. I was 7 or 8. But I looked around, and there weren't too many options for women in the churches that I had seen. And as I grew, that was always one of my... At North Point, I don't know where North is. It was north. It was always my north. That I knew that there was a call of God in my life. And when you're a girl, that's kind of dread, because there's not too many options presented. So anyway, I got to thinking about, why did I say yes when John said, would you like to come on board? And I realized the reason we all make decisions is because we are at a place where we are ready to fix something. And I heard somebody say recently, we don't fix small things, we only fix big things. Small things we can just deal with. But I had some responsibilities in my life, which is the reason why I make decisions. I have responsibilities that I don't pay are mine. I can't pass them off. I can't throw them to somebody else and expect them to do it. And one of the responsibilities, aside from knowing that I had a call of God in my life, was that I was a mother, and particularly my oldest, my son, was in a situation at school that was horrible. And he was being beat up, and spiritually and physically, and it was unacceptable, and I didn't know what I was going to do about that. And I found this place that had a similar heart for our children, and they also connected that I felt like it was my responsibility to find the best place for my kids to be that fit. That was my responsibility. And so that was the impetus for my entrance into ministry here. I was a bus driver. And those were the skills I had. And there was some needs. We had kids that were living in Rapid that needed to come here. And I was a bus driver. That was my call to ministry. And so that's pretty cool. And The other thing that I loved about this place from the moment I stepped into it was a place that I felt like I could grow. It wasn't, everybody has to look the same, everybody has to act the same, everybody has to believe the same, everybody has to dress the same, everybody has to be the same to belong here. I really had enough to fear with that kind of stuff. And this was, you could be you. And you could grow to be the you that God had intended you to be. And we all look so very different. And we all grow in different ways. And we have different giftings and different callings and different needs and different motivations and different responsibilities. And in the context of that, we come into this house and those that sit here and they go, huh, this is just right. It's not too hard, it's not too soft, it's not too hot, it's not too cold. For me, it is just right. And I have this belief that you can only grow in an atmosphere that is safe. It's safe to grow. It's safe to ask questions. It's safe to question. It's safe to say, you know what, that didn't really work. I don't know if I'm going to try that anymore. That, I tried it. It didn't work. We have been a people that have grown. We're not the same as we were 19 years ago when I said yes here. I was the age of my son when I started. But in the context of being here, I have been given an environment, an opportunity, and encouragement to grow. And I so appreciate that. Thank you for making a way, making a place, providing a place, giving freedom to grow. And now I graduated from bus driver, and my kids are all graduated, and I have new responsibilities and new stuff. And I'm thrilled that God has done what He's done. And I guess I just wanted to say that all of us are motivated by need. Not everybody is called to be in ministry like I am called to be in ministry. Not all of you are called to be bus drivers. So, sorry, that was my job. But if we all are, we make our decisions, and when God offers when He extends the invitation, sometimes it is. It's just solely based on the need for you to fulfill your responsibility. And then when you say yes, it's pretty phenomenal what He does. So, I love that song. That all He's asking for is everything. And once you decide, it's like, well, okay, it's all yours. What can I give anyway? Everything that I have, all of my heart, everything. I just give it to you. And then just watch what He does in your life.